I rented a barn, there's no power in the whole town. Even McDonald's doesn't have power. And I go to some countries like Laos, like Cambodia, South Africa, like they have dirt floors. They don't even have floors, and yet they have power. And somehow Michigan does not have clean water. It blows my mind.
So something that I want to know, and I think that's why Tim organized this Midwest meetup, as he called it, or Michigan meetup, is I believe, and again, I'm programmed by Joe Rogan, and he talks about this a lot, about the work ethic and the mentality that comes from being in a northern climate, being in rough, weather, etc. I'll move around. Do you think that being in the Midwest, being in a cold climate, being in, whatever, do you think that has some effect on trading, or do you think it just doesn't matter where you're from?
I think it does have a bit of an effect. I mean, it might be a small effect, but you're gonna. I do think you'll have more successful people that have. There's not as much fun stuff to do out in the winter.
And I think, and I'll move to you guys. My answer is I just think that you don't have that get-rich-quick mentality as much. I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't exist in the Midwest, but I think you've got more of that grinder type philosophy, and that fact that, again, a lot of us, I mean, my dad worked in a factory. I mean, he knew he was going to be able to provide for his family. He knew he wasn't going to get rich. He was grinding away in that factory, grinding away on the farm. He farmed and worked in a factory, grinding. I think that attitude comes from the Midwest. So, Dom, do you think where you grew up or where you are has any effect on your trading, or are we imagining things?
I mean, I don't know if it's a Michigan thing. I think it was kind of the way I was raised, and I've had a job since I was 15, and I've always had to be doing something to bring money in.
See, and that's the point I wanted to make about you two guys, both you guys. I mean, you're hustling. You're landscaping and a valet when you're 16, 17, yeah.
But I do think that there's not as many distractions in Michigan and versus other places in America and all over the world, and the time zone's perfect. I don't know. I do think it helps you a lot, because when it's dark at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you got nothing else to do but sit in your office and grind.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Michigan, in the winter, in December, it gets light at like 8:30 a.m. and it's dark at like 4:45 p.m. Yeah.
Barely out of the office and it's dark.
Yeah.
So it's an incentive, I think, to stay and keep studying. So it's probably a small advantage, but I think it does help.
And Jack, I think, I know you came from Connecticut and now you moved in with Dom, but, I think you've got that similar attitude. I mean, you're, again, working multiple jobs, hustling, saving that money. I mean, do you think the way your mindset, maybe the way you were raised, has some effect on your trading?
Yeah, definitely. And then when I even moved to Michigan, I don't have a car, I don't really have too many friends out here. I just have people that I trade with, and I'm solely focused on trading and putting really immersing yourself into the game. That's how you're going to get the best. The more work you put in, the luckier you get, you know what I mean? The better you're going to get. And just that slow grind in the Midwest, I'm not over there looking at LA mansions and saying some fake lifestyle. I'm grinding it out.
Avoid the Instagram models. Avoid the flashy cars. Focus on your trading. That's what I would say.
All right, so the interesting thing about that is my latest 2 millionaire students both found me because they liked my Lamborghini on Instagram. So what I like is that, these visuals can motivate you to study hard. But at the same time, all millionaire students and six-figure students, the one thing they have in common is that they study their butts off. And it's all about preparation. So no matter what motivates you to make a lot of money, you have to learn the process, as we talked about, as you guys have learned, that we're all, different traders. And being in the Midwest, I mean, part of the reason why we're here, not because I wanted to come to Michigan. I think it's funny. I was trying to buy some tumbleweeds. Did we get tumbleweeds?
There aren't tumbleweeds in Michigan. It's too humid. You're thinking of the Southwest.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some weird nature shit going on here, but it's weird.
It's called thunderstorms.
There's no power. I rented a barn. There's no power in the whole town. Even McDonald's doesn't have power. And I go to some countries like Laos, like Cambodia, South Africa. these places don't even have dirt. Like, they have dirt floors. They don't even have floors, and yet they have power. And somehow Michigan does not have clean water, and now does not have. It blows my mind. But I do think that, you know, having bad weather and having the right focus really helps. You know, like, you were not successful in Connecticut, where I'm from, but now you're successful in Michigan, partially because of him, partially because there's fucking nothing to do here. Right? Like, you guys
totally
have no outside life whatsoever that allowed you to make $200,000, that allowed you to make $100,000, versus people in LA, New York, and a lot of these big cities, like,
They have
oh,
a nightlife to
we have
go
a
to.
Broadway show, we have got bars, we got like a nightlife. Like, here it's like, what do? We
Study.
throw darts, like, you play these little basketball games. Pan over to the basketball game thing, right? Like, this is a classic Michigan, you know,
We're even in the
nightlife-
basement. No,
nightlife activity.
We're safe from the thunderstorms and the tornadoes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I appreciate you Midwesterners. I appreciate you people who live in bumblefuck nowhere. Just keep studying.
Well, to add on to that, I think we like to be outside here in Michigan and in the Midwest in the summertime, but that's when the stock market tends to be a little slower. You can take days off, go out and go kayaking or whatever you feel like doing. But yeah, you've got a good half the year where it's not exactly pretty outside, and there's not exciting cuisine or fun shows to go to. So.
I like how I was very negative and you say it's positive. Like, you say it like in a positive way, like there's not much to do. And I'm like, yo, there's fucking nothing to do. Like, you're trying to defend your place, but you really can't. But at least you're saying positive stuff. Like, that's new for you. I'm proud of you.
It's the trials of this place give us our strength of character.
and you find positivity in what you can find.
It's like that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he won the Oscar. What was that?
Reverend?
The Reverend.
Titanic?
No, the Reverend. No, not Titanic. He dies in Titanic.
Reverend was a good movie.
The Reverend, because it's
thought
like
it was too
nature,
old.
and that reminds me of Michigan.
If I want to watch a guy crawl across the dirt for 2 hours, it just wasn't my thing, man.
Well, you just go outside to Michigan,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
that's it. You try to do something outside with the elements in your face. Cool. No, that's exactly what I wanted. You know, like, we need to figure out how to replicate your guys' success. And
Do difficult shit.
I think the thing is really just having the right work ethic.
Yep.
And that's not all. I mean, you do need some other stuff too. But
Discipline.
and you need to have the right sort of mindset. Some people I don't think just don't have the personality to trade. But there's very few people I can think of who really worked hard at learning to trade for a long period of time who did not ever succeed to any extent. There are people, but not a lot.
I agree. This
And
isn't
I think you
rocket
need that.
science.
You need that work ethic and that attitude to get there. Because
Yeah.
if not, you're just gonna give up. You know, because you're gonna hit rough patches. And if you don't have that, just like you were, you were studying. You decided it wasn't the thing for you, but you were
Right.
studying your ass off, making nothing, but you were still willing to put in that work.
Hey, Tim Sykes, Millionaire Mentor and Trader. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope that they help you. I want to share everything that I've learned over the years. You can check out more videos right over there. And also click subscribe so that you can watch all of these videos, get that knowledge, and become my next millionaire student.